Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. I've just been informed by the Waukegan Fire Department we are at capacity inside the council chambers. So as you go in and out, there might be a delay if you're getting back in, depending on the capacity. Fire Chief Lindsay is here, and he will be administering all that. There might be some people's names on the who is signed up already. We'll let them in to speak. All right? We got about a few minutes before council actual start. Just want to let everybody know. All right, thank you. All right, everybody, the time has come for the, there's my glasses. The time has come for the Monday, October 7th, 2019 regular city council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seeger.
Present.
Alderman Mosio.
Here.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Present.
Alderman Newsome.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Mayor Cunningham.
Present. Please join us. Please join at the podium, Father Hector from Sagrada Corazon Lutheran Parish, and to lead us in the pledge. Come on up, Jude. Right after the invocation, Jude will be leading us in the pledge. All rise.
God of all cultures, God of many names, you come to us in many forms. As we celebrate the Hispanic Heritage Month, we thank you for our amazing diversity of our cultures, languages, and traditions. We thank you for the contributions and uniqueness of Latinos in the world and in this city. Bless this meeting and each person who makes decisions for the betterment of the Waukegan community. Grant that the office of our mayor continues to be a place with open doors and open hearts that are making space for all. God, bestow on us generous hearts that we may continue to use our diverse gifts to be supportive to one another and for your glory. Amen.
Amen. Jude, come on forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jude, for pinch hitting. Thank you, Father. And for those first time being here, we're going to be doing mayor's comments. At the mayor's comments, we will then do a couple of resolutions, then audience time. So for all those who sign up for audience time, be a little patient with us. And thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Awesome. All right, mayor's comments. As you notice, Pink October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Many of us up here are wearing pink tonight to raise awareness. If you're able, please consider donating to any of the many worthy charities that support breast cancer awareness, education, and research, and that goes for all cancer patients. CDBG survey, the city asked that residents participate in an online community-wide needs survey to assist the city with prioritizing community development and housing needs. For all those who are here tonight, before you leave, there is a desk downstairs, a table downstairs with a survey. Now this is my public service announcement. I need for you to take one of those and then take the survey. Thank you. The survey is available throughout October on the city's website and in English and Spanish. In addition to online, hard copies of the survey are available in the City Hall on the first floor. The results of this survey will help determine the use of public funds, including city's yearly allocation of Community Development Block Grant, better known as CDBG, and home funds. Another public service announcement. Be counted Waukegan. 2020 census is coming up next year, and we will continue to remind everyone that we need everyone to participate. Keep your eyes open for more information in the upcoming months. To all of my religious groups that are here tonight, I will be there asking you for your help with this. Be coming to your churches. Thank you. Retirement. I want to take the moment to thank Fire Battalion Chief Eric Lyons and Building Department Shelby Joy, both longtime Waukegan employees who recently retired. On behalf of the city of Waukegan, we wish them well and their families and the best of luck in their future endeavors. I want to send out condolences. I want to briefly send my condolences to the families of Isabel Buckner, Marilyn Cook, and the Ahern family. These are all of our Waukegan Public School former principals, teachers, and family members. As we move out, please keep them in your hearts and your prayers. Leaf pickup, great time of the year. A tentative leaf pickup schedule is hot off the presses and available on the tables outside in council chambers. I think all the aldermen have a copy of those leaf pickup. Additionally, it will be made available on the city's website. As always, please put out leaves only, not yard waste or branches, pumpkins, or other trash. Leaves go on the parkway, not in the gutters or the streets. Thank you for your cooperation. Special meeting. I'm assuming that's what everybody's here tonight for. On Thursday, October 17th at 6 p.m., there will be a special council meeting to vote on which casino proposal we send down to the State Gaming Board. See you there. Thank you. Cannabis. This upcoming Thursday, at the Planning and Zoning Commission, we'll be discussing the ordinance to permit recreational adult use cannabis dispensaries and related businesses in selected areas of the city. As of January 1, 2020, it will be legal throughout the entire state of Illinois. So the question is, where are the proper locations for this to go? School Ministries. School Ministries collecting supplies for veterans. A list of items is available outside council chamber and in the box on the first floor at City Hall. Janet, that's your office, correct?
Yes.
All right, the city clerk's office. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Upcoming events. Genesee Theater is holding their popular Ghost Walk tours this Thursday, October 10th, with four starting times. Tickets for this and all upcoming shows will be available online and at the box office. Three Brothers Theaters has 2 productions running Friday and Saturday throughout October. Somebody's Child at Stage 115 and Wendigo at Stage 221. Tickets are available online at the box office. In celebration of help me out. What?
Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead.
Oh, Dia de Muertos. Hey, I know Day of the Dead. Dia de Muertos, Day of the Dead. Families are invited to Sugar Skull decorating at the Waukegan Public Library on Saturday, October 12th and 19th. Saturday, October 19th, Zombie Walk in downtown Waukegan as part of the monthly art walk. This is family friendly. Events including live bands, DJs, costumes, contests, downtown decorating, and more. The fun starts at 5 p.m. October 19th is Rocktoberfest, benefiting Waukegan Police and Waukegan Fire Memorial Fund. This event will take place at Austin's Fuel Room. The award-winning Waukegan High School Music Department hosts Pasta Pops fundraiser on Friday, October 11th, featuring the high school bands, orchestra, choirs, and dinner. Tickets are available throughout Waukegan AMP Music Boosters. Tickets, they're selling tickets outside too, everybody. They are selling tickets right outside the door, so I'm asking that all of you here tonight don't forget to stop by the table and purchase your ticket. With that being said, we have a presentation. I would like to now invite up to the mic Chip Pugh, the State of Illinois Operations Lifesaver Coordinator, and Gordon Bowe, Illinois Operations Lifesaver President of the Board, to speak about Waukegan Officer Harris along with Commander Guzman. Deputy Chief Guzman. Come on up. All right, there you go, sir. You have the floor.
Mayor Cunningham and members of the Waukegan Village Board, thank you for giving us the opportunity here to speak tonight. Tonight, as representatives of Operation Lifesaver, we are here to recognize the truly heroic efforts of Officer Christopher Harris on his night of December 7th, 2018. His quick response actions may have prevented a young teenager from stepping into the path of an approaching train. The mission of law enforcement is to serve and protect the public, and sometimes that mission protects people from themselves. We too at Operation Lifesaver also protect people, and often it is protecting people from their own actions that may cost them their lives. Collectively, we choose to make a difference and have a positive and lasting impact on others. While we prefer the comfortable surroundings of a classroom to convey our messages, the environment Officer Harris dealt with the morning of December 7th was vastly different. Cold and dark conditions were present around the South Avenue Railroad crossing when the officer noticed the young teen emerging and approaching the crossing and headed toward an approaching train. He made a difference that night and saved the life of another person. For that, we are all truly grateful. So for your efforts, Officer Christopher Harris, we commend you and present you with this life-saving plaque as a small token of our appreciation. Thank you.
Listen, this happened, when I saw the video of this, I could not believe the heroics of Officer Harris. And what it meant not only to him, but more so to me as a spectator. So on behalf of the mayor's office, all the city council, the citizens of Great Waukegan, we say congratulations and thank you for the service you provide to this community. Thank you very much. Appreciate you recognizing.
Good job, officer. Thank you. I can't find it, man.
Is that it? Item 2 on the agenda. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Kirkwood, to ratify a reappointment of Lawrence J. Stanley to the Waukegan Firefighters Pension Board. Any questions to the motion? Larry, are you here?
Next meeting.
Next meeting? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed and carried. Proclamation. Motion by Alderman Taylor, second by Alderman Bolton, to approve October 6th through the 12th as Waukegan Firefighter Prevention Week. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. We want to read it, Janet, or?
Sure, I can.
Yeah, let's read the proclamation.
Okay, proclamation, Waukegan Fire Prevention Week, October 6th through the 12th, 2019. Whereas the city of Waukegan, Illinois is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Waukegan. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed 2,630 people in the United States in 2017, and fire departments in the United States responded to 357,000 home fires. And whereas the majority of U.S. fire deaths, 4 out of 5, occur at home each year. And whereas when the smoke alarm sounds, Waukegan residents may have less than 2 minutes to escape to safety. And whereas Waukegan residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas Waukegan residents should make a home escape plan, drawing a map of each level of the home, showing all doors and windows. And whereas Waukegan residents should practice the home fire escape drill at least twice a year during the day and at night. And whereas Waukegan's residents should teach children to escape on their own in case adults can't help them. And whereas Waukegan residents should make sure everyone in the home knows how to call 911 or the local emergency number from a cell phone or a neighbor's phone. And whereas Waukegan's residents should practice using different ways out, and whereas Waukegan residents in a real emergency should get low and go under the smoke to get out quickly, and whereas Waukegan's residents should get out and stay out, never going back inside the home for people, pets, or things. And whereas the 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, "Not Every Hero Wears a Cape," plan and practice your escape, effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase our safety from fire. Therefore, I, Sam Cunningham, Mayor of Waukegan, do hereby proclaim October 6th through the 12th, 2019, as Fire Prevention Week throughout this city, and I urge all the people of Waukegan to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or other emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Waukegan's fire and emergency services during Fire Prevention Week 2019, adopted the 7th day of October 2019. There you go.
We'll get this to we'll make sure we get this to the fire department. They're working, Chief is out there. All right. Next, item 3, audience time. Madam Clerk.
All right. We have a number of people here talking tonight. I'm going to call 5 names at a time. I'm going to ask you to go to the right side or the east side of just line up on the east side of the room. And the very first person talking tonight is going to be Matthew Dabrowski, Park City City Planner. So line up, Matthew Dabrowski, Tom LeBaron, Ruben Soto, Reverend Harry Stackhouse, and Daniel Hartman. And make sure you state your name before you start so we don't get it wrong.
Certainly.
All right.
My name's Matt Dabrowski. I reside at 3355 Belvedere Road, Park City, Illinois, 60085. I'm the city planner for the city of Park City. Mayor Purnell wanted to attend tonight, but he could not make it, so he asked me to attend in his stead. He wanted me to convey a message to the council that we are in full support of the casino. Not only would this be an important project for the cities of Waukegan, North Chicago, and Park City, but it would also be an extremely important project for the region, as it will bring in new tax dollars in an area that has been experiencing stagnant growth trends, and it would also be a catalyst for new development, which would improve the quality of life for all of our residents. So we're here to offer our support, and if you should have any other questions, feel free to let us know. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom LeBaron, Waukegan Chamber of Commerce.
Hi, as you said, my name is Tom LeBaron. I'm a board member of the Waukegan Chamber of Commerce, here today to speak on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce. The Waukegan Chamber of Commerce would like to express our strong support for a casino here in Waukegan. A casino is going to provide much-needed economic boost to the city of Waukegan, not just through gaming revenue, but through sales tax, food and beverage tax, and real estate taxes. A casino, the presentations we've seen from the developers all have some sort of entertainment component to it. Casino is going to be a regional destination, bring in money from outside the community, dollars spent in the city of Waukegan. It's going to be job opportunities, hundreds of construction jobs, hundreds of permanent jobs once the casino is built. Most of the people making presentations also committed to using local vendors, so there'll be opportunities for local businesses to participate. There's been a commitment to use local vendors wherever possible. Also, most of the developers also committed to setting aside money for educational purposes and local charities. So overall, I think a casino in the city of Waukegan would be a great boost to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Ruben Soto.
Mine to 3 minutes.
Thank you, council. Thank you for letting me speak before the great crowd here tonight. Good evening. My name is Ruben Soto. I've owned different businesses in Waukegan, along with several commercial, residential properties around town. I've been a lifelong resident of Waukegan. I've seen our city go through many, many changes in the last 60 years. Now it's time that our city needs something to spark a positive change. I believe that the casino is just the thing to do it. Property values have been down so long and doing nothing. It should no longer be an option for the city. Just about every business owner I speak to in Waukegan say they're in favor of the project. We're all hungry for growth. In order to grow, we must attract people we must attract people to come to the city of Waukegan. Aldermen should pick the casino proposal that would best attract people to our city. Does a fancy fountain or a helipad, is that going to bring people to Waukegan? The obvious answer is no. A plan that considers existing entertainment options in the city will drive the growth by drawing customers from outside the region. That is why I support North Point Casino. It was clear Warner Gaming had already achieved this goal in Sioux City with the Hard Rock. And I believe they can do it here in Waukegan with North Point. I wish you luck in your decision. Thank you so much for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. Harry Stackhouse.
I'm Harry Stackhouse, lifelong resident of Waukegan, 30 years businessman, entrepreneur in Waukegan, pastor for 30 years. I'm here with mixed emotions. My emotion is this. I've had 30 years of making money, doing very well in the city, in Stern Store for Men with Billy DeVore, my partner. And I've had on the other side, as a pastor, 30 years of ministering to people who had a problem with gambling. So I was betwixt and between. So I'm here to say very simply, what we're here for as a representation is to let you know we're here to do what's best for Waukegan. And we partner with people who want to do what's best for Waukegan. And I feel very simply this way. If we all come together to address what's best for Waukegan, we have one thing on the agenda tonight that everyone is talking about, and that's gaming. And I'm saying we're talking about the future. The future is not gaming. The future is what we do together. We build the future, and we must build the future together. So those that here that are supporting the gambling, I think there's a better way. And I think we can come together as community for Waukegan and talk about what that looks like. And I don't think we've addressed those things yet. I mean, I was part of the last, in 1996. If you look up the information, you'll find my name signed in the Waukegan News Sun as one of those people that said, it's not going to work. The gambling is not going to work. But there are many things that we can do together. That we need to be looking at, other than gambling. So I solicit your help. We will give you our help. And we'll stay the course. It's amazing what we can do together, but very little apart. if nobody wants the credit.
Thank you, Reverend Stackhouse. Daniel Hartman. Daniel Hartman. Daniel Hartman.
Greetings, Mr. Mayor, City Council, in the name of Jesus Christ. My name is Daniel Hartman. I'm a proud resident and citizen of North Chicago for the past 10 years, and I serve as a minister at the Sign of the Dove Church here in Waukegan. Tonight, I stand before you in repentance. A few months ago, pastors and leaders gathered in my living room and we cried out to God together. As tears flowed, we realized that many of us were part of the problem. And I stand here tonight confessing I'm part of the problem. A long time ago, God called the prophet Ezekiel to stand as a watchman over God's people. And it simply went like this. If a sword was coming to a community, if Ezekiel spoke up, he had a choice. He could speak up or he could stay silent. If he didn't, if he spoke, then it's on the people to do what they want. If he stayed silent, God said, I require judgment of you, and the blood is on your head. I stand here tonight with blood on my hands. I have not spoken up. This silence has been costly, and I have neglected my pastoral and prophetic duties. Others share in this sentiment, and so we're here tonight together. We want to begin a new chapter where more churches are truly for Waukegan. While I oppose a casino for moral, spiritual, economic, psychological, emotional, and social reasons, I also oppose the move at a more fundamental level. To whom do we look for salvation? Who will save Waukegan? Some trust in casinos, others in gambling, but we will trust in the name of the Lord our God. Casinos promise idolatry, and idols demand sacrifices. Children, families, and the elderly will be sacrificed in this vision. Yes, there will be economic promised, but it comes at the cost of precious people. We believe there is another way, and is much bigger than being for or against a casino. Returning to Ezekiel, the prophet once looked out on a place that needed revitalization. God asked him a question. He said, can these bones live? Surely, God, you know. God said, speak life. And out of that, God raised up an army. We believe that if we turn to God fully, with our full heart, that God will bring revival in our community. And we're here tonight because all of us want Waukegan to flourish. And we believe together, as we seek God together and do it His way, that we will see mighty transformation in our community for years and for generations to come. We are for Jesus Christ, and we are for Waukegan. To God be the glory. Amen.
Thank you. I'd like to call the next 5 people. Raul Choa, Jean Longhan, Selena Gomez Balois, Dylan Burdett, and Diana Burdett. I'll say it again. Raul Ochoa, Dean Langahan, Selena Gomez Balois, Dylan Burdett, and Diana Burdett. Make sure you say your name so we know we got the right person. 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor, Alderman, and community. My name is Raul Choa. I was raised in Waukegan. Currently, I reside in Grays Lake. Waukegan was my home for 30-plus years. It's the community that God has called me to shepherd and love. It's the community that my family attends church in. And today I come to you ashamed and hurt, asking for forgiveness, because never in my life did I feel that it was important for me to be a part of this process. Never did I feel the political process of who our mayor and our alderman was an impact to me. In a selfish way, I looked at it as an impact to me as an individual. But in 2012, I allowed God to enter my life, and He gave me a new perspective and a new way to view life and my community. The reality is that my and our silence and apathy to the political process has caused hurt and has caused my community to be impacted in negative ways. Today I stand before you all saying I am ashamed that this is the first time I've ever spoken at a city council meeting, and it is only the second time that I've ever attended one. I'm ashamed that in my 38 years of life, I've never once voted for a mayor or an alderman in my city. And that can't continue to be. While it's a sad reality for me, unfortunately, I believe that it is also a reality for many of us in this room here today. And that just cannot be. So today, in this room today, many of us have been silent. Many of us have been disheartened by a system that we feel was not created for us, yet it impacts us so much. So today I commit that moving forward, it would be unjust to my community and disobedient to the God that I serve for me to not make myself available to let people know the reality of the impact on our community, but also to be a part of a process, to be a part of conversation. Today I commit to co-lead this community that God has entrusted to me, along with the pastors in this community, many of whom which I call my friends, to be able to inform people and to be a part of a process, to be able to voice our concerns for Waukegan and to make our voice heard and counted at the polls. That we would be fully engaged in who our next mayor and our next alderman would be. That we would take responsibility as serious as many of you have for years. I want to thank all of you that have been a part of this process for years, who have labored in this building, but know that moving forward, we hope to stand alongside of you, laboring and fighting for Waukegan. For all of those that have no voice, for those that have a voice, for those that are on the margins, because when I say that we are for Waukegan, I mean that we are for everyone in Waukegan. I look around at this room, and it's hard for me to not be in awe of God, because he has chose to do this, and he has decided to use us. Glory be to his name, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Ochoa. Dean Langahan.
Good evening, Senate Council. Thank you for letting me speak. I moved to Illinois in 1999 after completing my second enlistment with the Air Force. I went to college in Deerfield, where I met my wife. In 2010, despite me having a job in Des Plaines, my wife having a job in Deerfield, we purchased a home in Waukegan. It's because we had developed a heart for Waukegan, even though I'm from Wisconsin and my wife's from Arizona. And we felt led to invest into Waukegan. Eventually, I even got a job at the VA so I could work closer to Waukegan and be more involved. And I am a very involved person in my community and an active voter in the 6th Ward. And I am opposed to the casino in Waukegan. The casino is not interested in building up our community, but taking from it. The few jobs that it would generate are not worth the economic decrease of local businesses which invest into our community. I regularly get gas at the Waukegan Thorntons, since I always shop locally whenever I can. And the video gaming area is always full. I've been there several different times, it's always full. No jobs are generated from that because the machines are automated. They just take money from Waukegan. I've even seen kids sitting outside the video gaming area while their parents are in it, trying to get their parents' attention because they're hungry and they want food, and their parents won't take the time to even give them some money for food. They're sitting there while their parents are just giving money away. These things do not build up our community. They tear it down. I ask the City Council to vote as representatives of the people in Waukegan, not those who want to take from Waukegan. Those who've lived in Waukegan their whole life, or those who've chosen to come to Waukegan and be part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Elena Gomez-Belois.
Good evening once again, Mr. Mayor, Alderman. Just to bring you some news from the library, as usual. First off, I want to thank the mayor and Alderman Taylor for coming to our Early Learning Center opening on Sunday afternoon. I know we were competing with the tour of homes and some other events that were going on, but we had a great turnout. It's a beautiful space. Please do check out our library Facebook page for some pictures of that. Bring your families and come on in and see what we're doing over there. The next thing I want to mention is that the Bradbury Storytelling Festival lives. on 10:30 on Halloween Eve. We are having storytellers in the library, and one of our tellers will be doing the story of La Llorona. So please do come out for that. We will have a matching program in the spring for students. We'll be taking the program out to the schools like we did this last year. So this one that's happening later on this month is for all families. I also want to mention just two quick things. You'll hear me talk about it all the time, every time I come over here, and that's about the census. We are still leading the charge on making sure we get a complete count in our community. It is important, thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is important because if everyone is not counted, we lose services and funding for services throughout our city and throughout our county and throughout our state, and even throughout our nation. And that includes library funding. So I encourage everyone to please make sure they fill out their census form. You'll hear a lot coming out from the library and throughout the city about that information. And then lastly, just as a reminder, we'll give you one more reminder before it actually happens. We are dedicated to staff training to make sure that we're giving you quality services and programs. And so we will be closed on November 1st, it's a Friday, so the day after Halloween, we'll be closed to do a staff day that day to engage in some training and some team building. So just to give you a fair warning and be prepared, so check out your DVDs early, okay? All right. Unless there's any questions, that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Dylan Burdett.
Hello. So last week, as pretty much everybody knows, there was a big town hall about ethylene oxide out in Grays Lake, talking mostly about what the dangers that we here in Waukegan face. We have the Medline here in Waukegan, and we have Vantage in Gurney that's bounded on three sides by Waukegan. So it went really well. And what I want to say to all of you is that you should know that without your actions, this would not have happened. Without your approval of air testing, the Illinois EPA and the ATSDR would have never come into our community and let us know about the dangers that we were facing. So I want to thank you all for that. However, it was very informative, but it didn't really change the fact that we're still being exposed to these dangerous levels of these airborne toxins. As we are an environmental justice community, our lives are exploited. And the very next day, on October 3rd, there was a public hearing for the Clean Air Act, or a clean air permit from the coal-fired power plant, AKA the acid rain permit. As an environmental justice community, we're not able to rest. So the community came out again on the 3rd and passionately asked the EPA and our officials to protect us and our children. And we have to ask you, as the council, to continue to push for this as well. As members of environmental justice communities, we cannot rest. We have to maintain vigilance because our lives are traded for profits of corporations. And this upcoming Halloween season, I can't spend all of it with my children because as a representative of CPLC and at the invitation of the Union of Concerned Scientists, I have to go to DC and talk about the ethylene oxide issue in our air. So I urge you to keep pushing on this, keep our representatives accountable, and we all have to work on this together. Thank you.
Diana Burdett.
Historically, we have been a community of immigrants. Now, the location of where immigrants have been coming in from has changed. It came from Europe, a working class immigrant, and now it's coming from the South, a working class immigrant. But because of that, we have been exploited, and we are taken advantage by industry, toxic industry, gambling industry. We are taken advantage of because we are too busy trying to put food on our tables. We are too busy trying to take care of our health and then trying to keep up with the bills to take care of our health. That's why we are continuously exploited, because we are kept busy by these industries that come in and try to take advantage of us. So yes, we've had ethylene oxide in our air, 500 times higher than the EPA standards, and we've been breathing it in without knowing for years. We have a coal plant. It's active. It's putting mercury and lead into our air. We have 2 active coal ash ponds. And our ground level, our table is rising because we are under flooding season, and the flooding is getting worse because of the climate change. So we are at a very risky place in our environment, and our environment leaks into our social aspect. It all intersects. We are socially taken advantage of. We are environmentally taken advantage of. We have another Illinois EPA hearing, and I urge everybody to come out and make yourself heard, because we have gotten legislation to actually make a difference for our present and our future. We can clean up we can hold them accountable to clean up the coal ash ponds, but only if the community comes out and says, we want it cleaned, because the Illinois EPA is coming out to hear our voices and see how we want it changed. So we need to let them know that this is how we want it changed. This Wednesday at Whittier Elementary, 901 North Lewis Avenue, we have 2 listening sessions regarding our coal ash ponds, one from 2 to 4 and one from 6 to 8. And the last thing I want to say is that look at this room. It is full. It's been full, and it's continued to be full. Listen to the people. The people are saying they do not want a casino. Morally, it's wrong. Fine, look at the research. The research clearly states that the casino industry is on a downfall. It is a decaying slope. It has been for over a decade. It is dead. And it's going to fall on our shoulders again, and we're going to continue to be exploited, and we're going to continue to be taken advantage of.
Thank you. Thank you. The next 5 people will be Ray Vukovic, Pastor Arthur Gass, Dr. Winifred Obleton, Shawna White, and Les Steffner. That's Ray Vukovic, Pastor Arthur Gass, Dr. Winifred Obleton, Shawna T. White, and Les Steffner.
Good evening. I'm Ray Vukovic, reside at 1703 Hyde Park here in Waukegan. I stand before you tonight to talk about the casino project. I must disclose to you that I am here working on behalf of the Potawatomi organization. In August of 1992, my wife and I went to the Empress Casino in Joliet to celebrate our wedding anniversary. At that time, we paid $17 apiece for the opportunity to ride on the boat for 2 hours and gamble. Back then, I was a young 4th Ward Waukegan alderman and brought back the concept of what we needed to do in this town and how we could get it. And we had a lot of obstacles. We couldn't put it on Lake Michigan. The law didn't allow it. But over time, that process began, and the long road continues to bring a casino to Waukegan. I was reelected twice in spite of being a, quote, pro-casino person. There were many, many, many opportunities for this community to hold a referendum since 1992. The Illinois General Assembly has handed Waukegan this opportunity to create new income. Later tonight, this very city council will be discussing the proposed 2019 property tax levy of more than $25 million. Waukegan needs new revenue. I chose to join the Potawatomi team because they want to work with existing Waukegan hotels, not hurt them. Potawatomi wants to work with the Genesee Theater, not hurt it. I urge you to do some research about the Menominee Valley Partners of Milwaukee. I'm going to say that again. Please write it down and Google it. Menominee Valley Partners of Milwaukee. Look at how the Menominee Valley was loaded with brownfields and vacant buildings, just like we have a lot of here on the lakefront here in Waukegan and in downtown. The Potawatomi were and are a leading force in the Menominee Valley project and plan to do the same here in Waukegan if they are awarded the casino. If you choose Potawatomi, Waukegan gets more than a casino. Thank you.
Pastor Arthur Gass.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm Arthur Gass. I live at 1403 Reed Road in Zion. I'm president of the Black Chamber of Commerce in Lake County for the last 13 years, a pastor of the Mount Zion Baptist Church for the last 32 years, and also a Vietnam Army veteran. On October the 17th, I believe you will be voting as to which developer that you will send down to the IGB. In past meetings, I have given you my reasons for support of the North Point Casino as the local developer. Waukegan has before it a very incredible, important decision. Your choice to develop a casino will chart this community path for generations to come. And the choice is yours alone. It is your choice alone, and I urge you to consider that fact when deciding your vote. Don't leave the decision to Springfield and the gaming board to pick between multiple developers. Pick the best developer for Waukegan. You have all seen the presentations, and by far, North Point has the best presentation. Other communities like Rockford and Danville are taking this approach, sending only one developer to the IGB for approval, because it's clear they know what works for their cities better than Springfield does. North Point Casino is the clear choice for Waukegan, and I ask that you send them to the IGB for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Winifred Obleton? Dr. Winifred?
Winfred. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
I was on a roll.
It's okay. You're doing well. You're doing well. 31 years ago, I moved to this community, Winfred Obleton, and I planted a church. And we started, and we had nothing, no people, no money, absolutely nothing. All we had was a vision. And 30 years later, we're still here. We focus on building lives and strengthening family, something that's critical all over the world. Mayor, you were part of our Bible study many, many times, and as we were teaching men about the importance of learning the Word of God, our focus is on men, because when you get men, you get the whole family. And so we've been involved in that. And so I'm really here today to just give you my voice. I want you to know how I feel about this whole idea of gambling and my congregation board. I'm sorry for not being involved in what's going on in Waukegan. Recently, we changed our vision statement. We want to be engaged in the community. Typically, as churches, we kind of a silo. We just kind of do our own thing. But God has called us to this community to make an impact, and we want to make an impact for the kingdom of God. And I am for Waukegan. I am for Waukegan. I know about a money problem. We have money problem, and I understand money problem. I just don't believe that gambling is gonna solve the problem. I think it's a quick fix. Quick fix don't work. I know about desperation, but making a decision when you're desperate, it doesn't work. I think we're gonna look back 5 years from now, and we're gonna regret the decision to allow gambling to take place in the city of Waukegan. Gambling is gonna bring, we talk about new revenue, that's great. But it's going to be minimum wages. It might bring new revenue, but I think it's going to bring some old problems as well. And so I don't support gambling. I don't support gambling at all. I don't think it's the answer to the problem. And my question to you is that, can we work together? We want to work together. I believe we can work together. We can change some things. We had some considerable problems in our community, and we began to work with the community, the police there, neighborhood watch, and we made some changes in that community, 1016 grant. I just think that we can work together and we can solve it. And I think God wants to do a new thing in Waukegan. And I think gambling is a thing that most cities turn to, but I think he wants to do something new. And we got a bunch of churches, 12 churches come together. We think we can turn this thing around, and we want to do it. That's what we want to do.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Shawna White. I rise this evening to thank you for having the venue at the Genesee Theater to hear the proposals from the casino bidders. I appreciate the efforts by you all to keep us informed. The Bible says in Proverbs 13:22, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the righteous. Job 27:16-17 says, though he heaps up silver as dust and prepare raiment as clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide that wealth in silver. So I stand in sort of support of bringing economic growth and progress to the great city of Waukegan. I do ask with this economic growth and progress that you bring also strong oversight and control, which includes all the stakeholders that will benefit from its success. As I close, I challenge us to set aside our differences and work together for a better and greater Waukegan. I would like to thank all the public service workers of the city that make the city of Waukegan so great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you. Les Stefner. Did you leave? Les Stefner? All right, are you here?
Well, let him in.
He did leave, okay. All right, the next five, Colin Byers, David Karowski, Nelson Patterson, Danny Caldwell, and Margaret Carrasco. And that's Colin Byers, David Karowski, Nelson Patterson, Danny Caldwell, Margaret Carrasco. Speak your names.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, City Council. My name is Colin Byers. I'm from Waukegan, Illinois, born and raised. I love this city. I'd like to ask some questions tonight about choices. Are the choices that are being made from these seats helping Waukegan to truly be a city of progress? Would Waukegan benefit by transitioning from a coal plant to producing clean energy and leading Illinois in sustainable practices and employment opportunities, such as wind and solar? Would a new urban farm help Waukegan to provide healthy options and educational experiences for its city? Would Waukegan benefit from fostering new businesses with social and environmental integrity to help define our city as a center for green technology? Those seem like choices that are progressive and beneficial to all. How about a casino? Is that a wise choice? Is trusting a business whose sole product is to take money from people a wise choice? When a parent can no longer provide for their children because of a gambling addiction, will it still have been a wise choice? When seniors have lost all they have for the month and are trying to rely on social services to keep them warm, will a casino have been a wise choice? Mr. Bond made large campaign contributions to some of you. Is not recusing yourself from the vote a wise choice? Legal counsel admonished the public at the hearing against repetition. Was sitting passively while employees of one casino were bussed in and stole the voices of your community the wise choice? I managed to speak at the hearing and was told to come to the mayor's office with ideas, not threats. I emailed twice to schedule an appointment and have still not received a response. Is not answering me a wise choice? When Waukegan resident gambles cash from a payday loan, loses, and has one more drink before driving home, would a casino have been a wise choice? When I speak of re-election, I do not do so as a threat. If that's how it's perceived, then maybe your conscience is tugging at something inside of you, knowing you're making a choice that does not sit ethically in your heart. Ask yourself, is this the wise choice? We need you to be leaders who have the humility to recognize they are public servants, the passion to see Waukegan thrive, the wisdom to make just and equitable decisions, and when it comes time for you to run for re-election, all of the people who have spoken up for this city will ask ourselves, did we make a wise choice?
Mr. Byers, I see it. First thing in the morning, you'll get a call from me personally. Thank you. That's a wise choice.
State your name.
I'm David Chesky. I own the Piggly Wiggly store in Zion, Illinois, and the one in Antioch for the last 15 years. I'm here today to voice my support for the Waukegan Casino. As a small business owner in the area, I get excited whenever there's local economic development. I think a casino and entertainment district is an amazing idea. It means a lot more visitors to our area and more local residents who are employed. More visitors and more residents with jobs means more people visiting businesses like mine. I know that there's a lot more small business owners in our area that feel the same way. I'm confident that the council will act in the best interest of the people of this area. That means picking the best plan, pick the group that guarantees the greatest amount of funds for the local government, pick the group that has a plan to hire local residents and work with local businesses like mine. Pick the group that creates the greatest entertainment destination. Pick the group that has a history of making good on their promises. And finally, pick the group that does not have any competing casinos in the area. That group, the only choice for Waukegan, is North Point. Thank you.
Thank you. Nelson Patterson.
Good evening. I wonder if you've ever read or seen Alice in Wonderland. It's a Lewis Carroll classic on suspended belief, make-believe lands, and incredible claims that ask you to temporarily forget reality. I like the book. It's not my favorite, but it is a good one to talk about tonight as I stand in opposition to the proposed casino on purely economic and rational analysis viewpoints. So let's assume, first, that you're asking Waukegan to live in a new Neverland. It's a Neverland where you take all these proposals and you ask the taxpayers to be prepared to support that Waukegan will somehow be able to have the second largest volume casino in the state. Yes, the state, behind only Rivers Casino, and before there's any gambling revenue drained by the city of Chicago. Maybe you want them to live in that perceived reality that gambling revenue in the state has declined by 15% since 2013. Or maybe the reality that projections for all gambling casinos in the state taken together has fallen short by over $1.5 billion versus the original projections. Let's be realists here. The likelihood that Waukegan will break that trend is not a bet that could even be made in Vegas. Second, in what Neverland do you want Waukegan to live going forward? With the exception of Las Vegas, a recent academic study on the effect of casinos showed that between 65 and 85% of all revenues come from a population within 75 miles of the physical casino. Now, when you take that study and you add it to the one that was already prepared for the city of Chicago that I shared with you earlier, you quickly see that the casino will be a silent tax on Waukegan's working families, on Lake County's working families, and even into Wisconsin. I find this aspect of the casino discussion particularly cynical and deceitful. This city council knows it could never support a tax increase on the citizens of Waukegan directly. So instead, it goes along with a plan to extract money from them through betting and gaming losses. And that's all for 3.5 cents on the dollar. As was said in Alice in Wonderland, this just gets curiouser and curiouser. And one final note from Neverland. Alice enters Neverland because she gets enticed by a little rabbit that makes all kinds of wild promises. That rabbit hole landed her in an adventure she never wanted, and that most of us consider a bad hallucination pretending to be good literature. Now, Waukegan does not need to follow the Alice example. We shouldn't jump down the rabbit hole given to us by Taproom Gaming and the Waukegan Voter Alliance and former Senator, now gaming kingpin Michael Bond and his henchmen.
Thank you, Mr.
Andrew
Patterson. Thank you. Danny Caldwell.
Hello, good evening. My name is Danny Caldwell. I'm with the North Point team, and I have some really good news to share with you guys. Over the past few weeks, North Point has been out talking to the community, providing information on our plan, answering questions, and listening to what the community would like incorporated into our entertainment destination. We were the only bidders that showed up at local fairs and festivals. We met people in neighborhoods and have answered questions, shared details of our proposal through Facebook and our website. And all of this was done because North Point wants to be a true partner with Waukegan. North Point is solely focused on Waukegan because they don't have another interest as far as casinos go in the market. In just a few short weeks through this engagement, we received nearly 3,000 support petition signatures, with over 350 coming from the 8th Ward alone. These people who support the casino project and support North Point plan specifically, we knew going into this there was overwhelming support for the project among the community, but the amount of support that we saw going door to door surprised even us. I really appreciate your time, and I know you guys have a really big decision coming up.
Thank you. Margaret Carrasco.
Good evening. Tonight, first and foremost, I would like a moment of silence for the 40-year-old Latino father, Jose Ochoa, who lost his life tragically at the Lake County Sports Center this weekend, was ran over by a car. If we could just have a few seconds, please, for him. Yes, human life, much more important than casinos or anything else. We need to get focused on what the priorities are. Tonight, I'll just start, first of all, in the casino process, the requirement is for Waukegan to have a public community forum at the Genesee Theater, and then they also had a form for you residents to fill out and to submit, and they have an email down there. So I did that. Guess what? My email was rejected. So your information doesn't get through. So I just have to make sure it gets here. So I'm here tonight to just read bits and parts. It was over 50 pages long. I'm requesting the Illinois Gaming Board for an investigation against the, in my opinion, tainted bidder selection committee. And I'm going to explain the reason why. And to disqualify one of the bidders, and that is North Point Casino. Specifically. Influence peddling, ethics violations, improper communication with the bidders during the process, gross lack of transparency, nepotism, major issues with the consultant, the casino consultant from the city, many financial concerns, tap room gaming machines. The Illinois State Report, how can this be? We have other areas that have 292 machines, and the losses are 64,000. But in Waukegan, which has less machines, 265 machines, we have over $100 million that families have lost on those stupid machines. Next, none of the information was in Spanish. 85% of our community speaks Espanol. No economic financial impact study, conflicts of interest, concerns, red flags about Laney Kozel, Hochberg, Thornton's, which was addressed, and the number one concern, and reason why I'm saying, Waukegan voters, check this out. Let's test you out. Let's see how smart you are. We have here on the top, number one, bond. Okay, taproom gaming, associated with many, many affiliates, and with North Point Casino. And then we used to have money draining down. Then
Thank you, Miss Margaret. Thank you.
All of them got money from him.
The next 5 will be Mary Williams, Josh Van Dyke, Susan Kidwell, Rob Prose, and Julie Contreras. All right, that's Mary Williams, Josh Van Dyke, Susan Kidwell, Rob Prose, and Julie Contreras. Right ahead.
Okay. Mary Williams, Pleasant Hills Subdivision in Waukegan. Mayor, aldermen, alderwomen, council, and clerk. I stand in opposition to the construction of a casino in Waukegan, regardless of location, and am bewildered by the significant disparities between the representations made in the casino proposals and the reality of gambling revenue in the state. First, I want to be sure we have the economics of the deal correct. If Waukegan is going to get 3.5% of the adjusted betting revenue, then to get $10 million in local tax revenue for the city, we will need a $286 million adjusted casino revenue. From the presentations we heard at the Genesee And based on what has been shared so far, that would make Waukegan the second largest casino in the state, just behind Rivers Casino. Does that sound realistic? And oh, by the way, none of the projections, to the best of my knowledge, get to $286 million in gambling revenue before years 4, 5, or 6. So the kitchen table math here suggests that this is quite a gamble, given that the city will have to float bonds for roads and sewer work. Second, each of the proposals shared at the Genesee had varying levels of commitments to Waukegan Public Schools. The Fountain Square Casino will benefit Warren schools directly, and some firms talked of sharing money with local schools, but there is no guarantee of that. Does that make any sense to taxpayers here in Waukegan facing higher and higher property taxes in order to fund the schools? Finally, I love this city and have called it my home for 77 years. My husband and I chose to live and raise our family here. I just don't see the casino being a destination for helicopter landings and takeoffs. Let's live in the reality of what we are. Waukegan is a strong working-class town, proud of its heritage, disappointed in its present economic stagnation, and looking for good solutions from the elected officials on the city council. Please don't get blinded by the razzle-dazzle of those high roller presentations. The economic reality of gambling is that 80 to 90% of the casino revenue will come from the pockets and paychecks of Lake County, and especially Waukegan citizens. Please stay grounded in reality and do not approve these casino applications. I'm afraid we are being sold a bill of goods and will end up taking on a debt that will leave us further behind. Focus on sustainable economic development. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh Van Dyke.
Hello, I was actually just wanting to give out a reminder of the Illinois EPA meeting going on in a couple of days. Kind of has already been said, and the concerns about the...
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I was actually going to speak about the Illinois EPA meeting coming up in a couple of days about the coal ash or acid rain bill. It's kind of already been covered by previous speakers, but it's important, so it's all right. So I'm just going to stick to the basic information in case anyone missed it the first time around. That's on October 9th at Whittier Elementary. There's a session from 2 to 4 p.m. and another one at 6 to 8 p.m. The Illinois EPA is going to give a town hall meeting where people can learn and have their voice heard about the clean air permit, or otherwise known as an acid rain permit that's being discussed. So I really encourage anyone who's concerned about our environment here, the air we're breathing here, to come, either just ordinary citizens and people on the council, please. As more people, the merrier there, because if we want to have strict regulations passed, we need to have our voice heard on that. We need to make it clear that we're aware of it and that we have strong feelings on it, which I know this town does, as we've already heard at this and many other meetings. So again, I just wanted to kind of say that over. 2 to 4 p.m. and then 6 to 8 p.m. at Whittier Elementary on October 9th. I hope to see as many of you there as possible. That's all.
Thank you. Susan Kidwell.
Hello, thank you for having me. So I'm Susan Kidwell. I'm the co-president of AMP Waukegan. Many of you know me already, Mayor and Janet. So being president of AMP Waukegan, what we do is we fully support all of the Waukegan High School music students. Traditionally, that's about 500 students. So we fundraise throughout the year and do all sorts of other things to help support them, like outfit them with tuxedos and concert gowns and stuff, so they look nice and professional-like. So our biggest fundraiser of the year is coming up. Mayor already touched on that topic, and that is Pasta and Pops. We host Pasta and Pops. We serve mastacholi and trimmings and dessert, but 500 music students entertain the audience as they eat. And it really is fantastic when 500 people are entertaining you at the same time. The energy in the room is fantastic. So anyhow, tickets are $20. There are 2 sittings at 5:30 and 7:30, and we absolutely would love the support. The students love when they see support from the community, you know, not just their parents being in the audience. It really gives them the extra drive to do the best that they can to succeed. So I will take my tickets outside, and if anybody would like to purchase them from me, that would be fantastic. It's a fantastic way to spend your Friday night. Thank you.
Thank you. Rob Prose?
Hello, Rob Prose, 1534 West Monroe Street. I'm a 28-year resident of Waukegan. I'll be speaking on the casino development. I'm disappointed that you think solely of the constituents. Do not be totally honest with them. Community input is essential to this process that seems to be fast-tracked because it's all we have. The community input that is only reserved as audience time really does not qualify. The words spoken here are sometimes, if not all times, dismissed. Real community input would include members of the community in a larger forum that did not include the developers that are selling us a product. Just because you are elected officials doesn't mean you have all the information and all the answers. The proposals these groups are selling us show lots of positives, but they told us any and all the negatives financially and otherwise. I am submitting this binder into public record. It contains an article from the Atlantic called "A Good Way to Wreck a Local Economy, Build Casinos" by David Frum of what a casino does to a local economy. Why Casino Matters, a study on the effects of casinos in a state. Please note the highlighted conclusion on page 36. A recent article by Charcelli called "Waukegan Weighs Betting Odds of Casino Suitors" in the Lake County News Sun. Please note, highlighted paragraph 4. I have also included a list of what I think are reasonable wants and needs for the city and the residents that should be brought to the table in any type of casino development. A few people I've heard say recently that this is going to be a family entertainment complex. This does not change the fact that it's still a casino. I have heard from many residents and leaders of this city, both past and present, that we need to build a legacy in Waukegan. Do we really want a legacy that will be a burden on future generations? That's it.
Thank you, Rob. Julie Contreras.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. This is a public petition to the mayor of the city of Waukegan and the Waukegan City Council to call for immediate action to stop noxious secondhand smoke in our building. Today's date is October the 7th. This is submitted to Mayor Sam Cunningham and to each City of Waukegan council member. This is submitted by Julie Contreras on behalf of the League of United Latin American Citizens. The League of United Latin American Citizens has been located at 117 North Genesee Street in Waukegan, Illinois since 1974. And adjacent to our building today is the A Cuban Experience Cigar Lounge, 119 North Genesee Street in Waukegan, Illinois, which has resulted in secondhand smoke, carcinogenic fumes, and noxious odors infiltrating throughout our building and into the common quarters, lobby, offices, and gathering rooms in our building. The situation is becoming increasingly worse with each month and is a danger to our health and quality of life. The short-term health effects have been aggravated sinus problems in members, watery eyes, and difficult breathing. According to the American Lung Association, secondhand smoke is a group A carcinogen because it is known cause of lung cancer in humans and contains 4,000 chemicals, including known poisons such as formaldehyde, benzene, and hydrogen cyanide. At the present time, the members of the League of United Latin American Citizens have filed formal complaints with the Department of Health in Lake County, the City of Waukegan Mayor, the City of Waukegan Building Commissioner, and have made the councilmen and councilwomen aware of our plight. A Cuban Experience Cigar Lounge has been aware of the adverse effects that their cigar lounge has made at the League of United Latin American Citizens building, but they have not been responsive in correcting the situation, but they have called us criminal Mexicans and illegals. The City of Waukegan refuses to take formal action even after we filed a formal secondhand complaint against the owners of a Cuban Experience Cigar Lounge. We, the undersigned members of the League of United Latin American Citizens, along with other concerned citizens, call on the City of Waukegan and the state of Illinois to protect our health and quality of life. We ask for an immediate smoking ban at the Cuban Experience Cigar Lounge until such time as the issues of secondhand smoke have been resolved and no longer provide a health or quality of life threat to the members of the League of United Latin American Citizens building and the public. And as a server of the truth and liberation of all God's people, and pastora at the sanctuary of Our Lady of Suyapa, a United Methodist satellite to Lincoln United Methodist.
Thank you very much.
Behold
Thank
the
you.
power of God.
Thank you.
No more corruption.
Thank you.
No more
There's
gambling.
2 more people that.
No to
Thank
the
you.
casino.
Thank you. I'm going to call 2 people because I'm not sure they're here. Mark, you are here. Okay, the next one is Virginia Oliveras. She wasn't sure she could stay. Virginia Oliveras. Go ahead, Mark.
My name is Mark Allard. Excuse me. Thank you very much. I live on the south side. I lived on the north side for a number of years. I've been in Waukegan 17 years. Also from Wisconsin originally. And I'm here in Illinois. You know, I prefer Wisconsin to Illinois because Illinois has a lot of things not going well. I spoke to a couple of the aldermen earlier. I believe one of them stated that Illinois is going to put a casino here one way or another. I'm not sure I believe that. I think we have the power to decide whether Illinois puts a casino here. And I don't think we should be following the leadership of Springfield, because I don't think they're getting a lot right. Economically, especially, I'm concerned about that. So that's one piece. The other thing that I'm concerned about is I'm a public school elementary teacher. I teach for Woodland School District. I teach music. I see about 400 kids a year. There's a lot of kids coming from troubled situations. My heart breaks for them. I volunteer several hours a week dealing with kids who need extra help. They're bringing stuff from home. A casino in our community is going to hurt more. I'm concerned about joblessness. I'm concerned about emotional neglect that may result. As a friend said, you know, you've got parents sitting at slot machines, and kids shouldn't be seeing that, shouldn't be suffering from that. Abandonment, increased stress at home, abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. Addiction messes people up, and it's going to mess up our kids. Okay, you know those priceless commercials? I mean, come on, for real. Priceless, guys and ladies. Priceless. You can't put a price tag on sexual abuse, emotional abuse. Okay, kids, because kids are going to be more vulnerable. There's going to be an increase of sex trafficking in our community. Please, that's priceless, guys. Dealing with the students I deal with daily. These kids need help. They need a good home. Gambling addiction rips that apart. Okay, it's going to hurt our community. We're going to have home foreclosures. Because people get addicted. Let's not do this for our people. Sorry, I'm not a little more prepared. Thank you for your consideration. I had something else here that was great, I know. Oh, yeah, social cost, come on. If you think our cost for police is high now, what's it gonna be?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, the next following names are Clyde McLemore, Lisa May, Ellen Montgomery, Rosalind Munoz, and Joseph Webb. Again, it's Clyde McLemore, Lisa May, Ellen Montgomery, Rosalind Munoz.
Good evening, wow, you should know this. Good evening, council members and mayor. Wow, I never seen this full, man. It's been a little while since I've been here. Wow. You know, since y'all want to talk about gambling, Y'all know I'm the founder of the Lake County chapter of Black Lives Matter. I've been an activist out here for over 25 years. And I have to say, Waukegan, Zion, and North Chicago all look like ghost towns. And I remember when Vegas first got built. It was a desert. You know what I'm saying? So I got a job, and what I do is I help people get jobs. People that they thought couldn't have jobs. And my thing is to get them some jobs. And man, if a casino come, just look at all the employment that's gonna come. I mean, with the building of it, construction, jobs in theaters. I just had an anniversary, my wedding anniversary. And last week, we had nowhere to go. Man, we had a casino out here, a theater to go to. You know what I'm saying? I support it. Just hope y'all make good decisions. But that's not what I came here for. Y'all know this the October month. November the 3rd is the Black Lives Matter fundraiser banquet, which our annual banquet is held every first Sunday of November. And this year we catering, well, it said moving the millennials. And I see a lot of millennials here. So I'm inviting y'all to come out. We got Brother Carlos Chavez Jr., president of the Alabama Youth Movement, the National Action Network, as being our main speaker. And then we got a local as being our opening speaker, Dr. Kevin Brown from District 60. And of course, we got our old favorite as our MC, Mr. Mark Jones. And of course, our mayor said he was gonna show up. So if y'all wanna come out there, I got tickets for sale, they're $55. I want y'all to come out and support this event. We usually have a sellout event. No, seriously, I just want to take the millennium away, the moment away from all the arguing and everything. But I just have to say that we need to come out and support this event. This event is a yearly event. This is our 4th year. We got a new president, a new treasurer. I'm just a founder. I'm just a guy on the side, but I'm the one that will come out and speak. So thank y'all for letting me speak.
Lisa May.
Thank you. Mayor Cunningham, earlier this year, you went to Springfield to testify before a House committee encouraging our state to pass a massive gaming expansion bill, including the city of Waukegan as a location for one of the 6. Whose interests were you representing at that hearing? One would assume it was the citizens that you represent, but it's funny. I don't recall you ever soliciting feedback from the city council, let alone the residents that live here. You testified that we have a shovel-ready site, and subsequently, each and every one of the proposed casinos intends to build at Fountain Square. The residents of Waukegan own that 32 acres, and yet we have zero input on this development. Our city ordinance, section 2-481, states that every sale of city land requires approval by 3/4 of the city council, and yet this council has not yet once discussed the sale of Fountain Square. Mayor, are you making assumptions about this council and the sale of land, or are these conversations being held behind closed doors? And to the aldermen, are you going to make such a big decision on behalf of your residents without soliciting their insight and opinions? 7 of you will have to vote yes for the sale of Fountain Square. Is this council planning to gamble that decision until the chosen proposal comes back from the gaming board? Maybe there is majority support for a casino in this community. I'm not sure. How can you be? Let's be very clear. This casino is not a done deal. Since acquiring that parcel more than 15 years ago, never once have we actively marketed the land for other development activities. Less than a mile down the road, we are witnessing a successful development in Bridgepoint North Business Park as they enter phase 3 of construction with 5 buildings completed and 4 more projected by the end of 2020. Route 43 corridor is the cash cow for the city, and yet we are still hanging our hats on a stale idea from 2003 that relies on our residents and our neighbors to be losers in order for that business to be successful and for the city to get a few crumbs for the great honor of being the host community. I've heard the argument from aldermen and from members of our community that we might as well take it. We have nothing else. I've also been told that residents spend more money on gambling than any other entertainment activity, according to recent data. I've been reminded that we have waited nearly 20 years for this casino, and now that we finally have got it, we have to build it. it. My response is this: why do you think so little of our community that we have to take anything that is offered? Why haven't you spoken up and encouraged new ideas from the development community? If we are currently spending so much money on gambling, isn't the market saturated? Are we going to cannibalize the existing positions? And do you believe that all the spending on slots is a good thing? How has gambling improved our community over the past 6 years? Why would you think an idea from 2003 is still relevant in 2019? DVDs were the hot item in 2003. Are we going to build a Blockbuster Video next to this casino? Please solicit input from your residents.
Ellen Montgomery.
Mayor, aldermen, concerned residents of the city, including the more than 50 who patiently waited downstairs with me prior to the speaking time. I was recently reminded of government corruption. The law clearly states that the sale of any city-owned property must be approved by a supermajority of this council. Any property. I understand someone is trying to talk this council into lumping the sale of 32 acres into the casino proposals. This is clearly circumventing the law. Any casino proposal must come after a land sale determination, which must be voted on separately. To do otherwise is illegal. If the land sale doesn't go through, then we're free to pursue sustainable and pursue that sustainable industry for the site, not wait for it to fall in our laps so we can decide we don't want it. The city residents, as you can see, do not wish for this casino. Please do not further complicate this issue with illegal activity. Gambling has never lived up to its promises. Only a very few benefit greatly at the expense of the rest. Remember how the lottery was going to fix education funding? It did not. Remember how the first 9 casinos were going to balance our state budget? It did not. Remember how video gaming was going to support jobs now? It did not. Why would anyone think that more casinos will do what none have done yet anywhere? You know what is said about trying the same thing over and over and over, yet expecting different results? There's also the matter of who can legally vote on gaming issues. 4 aldermen up here have had their aldermanic seats purchased by the gaming industry, and 1 owns gaming machines. This corruption has not and will not go unnoticed. The only legal, moral, and ethical response to any gaming decision is that you 4 recuse yourself, abstain. This is not merely to avoid a taint of conflict of interest. This is to avoid a charge of corruption. There may be weightier issues for the 4 of you to consider down the road. As recent as this past September 26th, the FBI raided 2 city offices in cases against corruption. Thank you.
Rosalind Munoz.
Hello. First and foremost, I just want to say God bless everyone in here. I think we are all here for the same reason, and at least I know I'm here today to say that all of you on the board have a huge decision to make, and so God bless each and every one of you. Again, my name is Rosalind Munoz, and I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak. I'm here as a Hispanic first generation speaker. Actually, I was in school here. My parents have been in the city of Waukegan for over 50 years. My grandparents, great-grandparents, I've seen this city as my only and one home. I've known Mr. Kirkwood from way back in Jefferson. So yeah, I've known a couple of you, the mayor. And so I'm here to bring up one specific point, and that is at the September public hearing, we heard from the mayor of Park City and North Chicago, who both came out in support of the Rivers Casino. My thing is, did Rivers seek out their endorsement? If they did seek their endorsement, would Rivers have violated the terms of the RFP? The RFP clearly states that developers cannot contact Waukegan officials except in a public meeting or forum like this, neither Park City or North Chicago officials either. They also can't lobby these cities directly or indirectly. Making contact with those officials directly or indirectly, according to the RFP put out by Waukegan, would disqualify a developer. So, should Rivers be disqualified based on this contact and the terms outlined in the RFP? I hope that this body and the city's attorneys will investigate this improper behavior. Is Rivers' record of failed promises equally disqualifying? In Des Plaines, Rivers promised to build 2 hotels and an entertainment district. Did they build that hotel? Did they build 2 hotels? At the public hearing, they said they're the most successful casino around. If that is true, why didn't they keep their promise? Is it because they're about their bottom line and not about what's best for the community? It is your job as a board to vote what is best for this community. At Rivers and New York property, they projected revenues to be 27% higher than they actually are. Is it a trick for the developers to overpromise and inflate their revenue projections? Did Rivers do this to trick the city into picking them? When revenues come in lower, do they actually pay on the lower revenue and not the promised projections? Will Waukegan look at Rivers' projected numbers with a skeptical eye, given their history? Waukegan, is this really what we want? I don't know about you, but at least for me, I know that at least if we stay local, you know, we should go with the North Point. Thank you.
Joseph Webb.
Hello, my name is Joseph Webb. In 2008, I opened up an epoxy flooring company in the Waukegan area. And it wasn't so much that I knew anything about that. I was actually a consultant for a business who was moving into Waukegan. And one of the things I advised them to do was to reach into the community to help. And so in starting that company, the primary purpose of our company was to bring young minority men and women who had been left behind. Many had nonviolent felonies. No one would give them a job. No one would give them a chance. And so contractors like myself and Integrity Development and Sanchez Concrete, we all got together as minority business owners to help pull these young people up. And so, and Pastor Gass, he was, one of the, main people who helped supported us. And in fact, one time he actually wrote a check to help me with payroll. And so these young people who had been left behind, we came together to help them advance their lives. And so I had young people who worked with me doing floors in casinos that jobs started at 11 o'clock at night and ended at 6 o'clock in the morning. And the last place those young people wanted to go is to the casino. They were done with casinos after that. And so we're in this discussion where everybody's right. Casinos have some dark elements. If we try to deny that, then we're all lying to ourselves. We have children and young people in this community who desperately need jobs. If they have a job at a casino that helps them pay tuition, we can't ignore the reality of that. The Waukegan needs revenue. We can't ignore the reality of that either. So if we go at each other for the truths that all of us are speaking, whether for or against, it doesn't help the community. We have some real problems here, and for us, my focus is to look at, if this thing is going to be done, who are we going to partner with? How is this going to be managed? As a minority contractor, I have looked outside of these huge contracts that come into Lake County that minority contractors of color, never get to participate in. Millions, billions. We're always on the outside looking in. So we need our city council to make sure that what is done in this project is fair if it's going to come here. And for me, as a partner with Pastor Gass for a long time, I'm throwing my support if this thing's going to be done behind North Point. Thank you.
Thank you. The last two, Stacy, Blake? Stacy and Blake?
Welcome to it.
very nice speeches I've heard tonight, and certainly I can understand the dark element. At the same time, I say that the same what the gentleman said before, that we do need revenue. So I speak, if we're going to have a casino, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, first of all, thank you for allowing me to address you this evening. Over the next few weeks, you have the task of selecting a casino developer to build in our city. Very important decision. That decision would chart the course for Waukegan for not just this generation, but the next generation. And no doubt, it's an incredibly important decision. As you think about it, I ask you to simply consider the facts. After listening to all of the different presenters, only one casino proposal has already signed local Waukegan businesses to operate within their destination, and that's North Point. Only one casino has received the support of the 26 local unions, and that's North Point. The other one didn't even know it was a union. Only one casino has committed to hiring minority labor contractors to build the casino with a pledge to not seek any waivers, which means that, just like that gentleman said, that us as minorities, blacks, Hispanics, we're not counted out. And if you do research, you'll find out that some of these other ones that was proposing the casino, they have gotten waivers, and they got away from hiring minority contractors. At the public hearing, only one casino had true supporters from our city, not bussed in by their employer, which was, North Point was the only one that had true Waukeganites there. The other ones, they bust in all their people, probably got paid for it. And that's what they're gonna do when they build it. They're gonna take their money right back out there. The best offer for the land came from, guess who? North Point. Two other proposals have casinos in our areas. Basic logic tell you that their sole focus won't be on Waukegan. Some proposals don't even have financing ready to go. North Point did. The developers that had competing casinos, they had inflated revenues. North Point, they had modest numbers that still proposed the highest guaranteed payment to the city. With that said, North Point Casino is, in my opinion, should be Waukegan's choice. The community supports it, the small businesses support it. The 26 local unions are supporting it. The Lake County Black Chamber is supporting it. You have an important decision in front of you. Please, let's not go outside and let's don't bring the outsiders here. Let's keep it at home. Let's keep it to the ones that already work.
Thank you. Blake.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here tonight to urge the city of Waukegan to pick one developer for the casino, the one that puts Waukegan first. As you review the bids, consider this. North Point offered, in addition to mandatory taxes, $50 million guaranteed directly to the city of Waukegan. In contrast, Rivers Casinos offered Waukegan $11 million guaranteed. That's $39 million more that Waukegan gets by selecting North Point. North Point is the best choice because they're locally focused and they offer the best package to Waukegan. Now you have a decision to make, and you need to make that decision. Send one proposal to Springfield so the decision is made by Waukegan, not the gaming board. Rockford is sending one proposal. Danville is sending one proposal. They get it. They know what their community needs more than the gaming board does. If you send more than one proposal to Springfield, here's what will happen. Number one, you'll delay the project by up to 2 years, meaning revenue won't start flowing to the city. But number two, and just as important, the city of Waukegan will lose out on that $39 million, which is the difference between North Point's offer and Rivers' offer. Here's why Waukegan will lose the $39 million. If multiple bidders go to the state, the bidding process will start over. And guess what? The state is required by law to pick the offer that is best for them, not for Waukegan. The lower bidder to Waukegan will make them able to offer more money to the state because they're offering less to Waukegan. They have more financial flexibility to make a greater offer to the state without sweetening their offer to Waukegan. And what will the state do? Just what you expect them to do and what the law requires. Pick the casino that is best for them, not Waukegan. You have to explain to Waukegan residents why you left $39 million on the table. That $39 million could help fund schools. It could go towards city improvements. It could be put towards the arts. Pick the single best proposal for Waukegan. Don't let Springfield make the decision for us. Pick North Point Casino. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That concludes the public portion.
Before everybody go, I want to say this to everybody here. Thank you for how you presented yourselves today. It was in a very, very professional, orderly way. That being said, I'm overjoyed by how everyone here has presented themselves. Thank you very much for coming out. Now, don't let this be the last time you come to council meeting now. But thank you again, everybody. If you care to leave right now, we'll give you about 2 minutes so everybody can go, and then we go on with the city's business. All right? I know some of you probably want to go home. All right. Alderman, if we need to take a 2-minute, whatever.
Item 4.
All right.
Hello.
Item 4, there's motion. Motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Seeger, to approve the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of items 4A through 4L. Are there any questions?
I want to pull out K.
Okay. Items K.
I have no idea.
Okay. Aldermans Rivera and Bolton, we on the consent agenda. Items 4A through J and L. There's a motion on the floor for items 4A through J and item L. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please read well, I'll read the motion tonight since there's not that many.
Get all those names to read, by the way.
I know. All right. Motion to approve regular meeting minutes from Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. Motion to approve the regular meetings from Monday, September 16th, 2019.
Way to go.
Motion to approve special meeting minutes from Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. Motion authorize the proper city officials to settle Public Works Department auto liability claims 201-705-10002 and 201-705-10003 for a total amount of $300,000. This matter was heard in the Government Operations Oversight Committee. Motion to amend Waukegan Code Ordinances, Section 21-122, limiting parking to allow 2-hour parking, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Lincoln Avenue and 8th Street. This matter, motion to approve IAFF retro payroll dated September 13th, 2019, a total amount of $429,155.74. Item G, motion to approve regular payroll dated September 27, 2019, total amount of $1,638,413.09. Item H, motion to approve PBLC holiday buyback dated September 27, 2019, a total amount of $2,350.46. Motion to approve final payouts, name listed on the agenda, dated September 27, 2019, a total amount of $15,987.88. Item J, motion to approve non-union retro non-union retro on the date September 27, 2019, a total amount of $557.38. And item L, motion to approve all raffle sales application. Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton? Aye. Alderman Seeger?
Aye.
Alderman Mosio?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Newsome?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Taylor?
Aye.
Motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Rivera, to approve vendor payments dated October 7, 2019, in a total amount of $3,065,765,000. $3,065,780.36. Thank you.
Right.
I'm tongue-tied tonight. Alderman Florian had a question.
Yes, sir. So this is sort of just some clarification for me. I'm trying to learn how to read these copious amounts of vendor payments that we have. And I noticed that we have listed a table for the 44th Annual Emerald Society of Illinois event for a total of $800. And I looked it up, and it's an organization for police and firemen that are of Irish descent. So I'm just kind of curious why the city should be paying for something like this. Like where
They honored our fire, that was tonight, that was their annual deal. They honored one of our, two of our police officers.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're the ones that do the special, like when he got
Yeah, that was one, that's their annual. A couple of our officers went, the police department, along with the chief, several of command, along with them, went with them. That was,
Okay, so they honored them at their event.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And then,
Yeah, I have one. Are you finished?
yeah.
Alderman?
Go ahead.
Alderman Rivera.
Yeah, I have a question regarding the water refund. Is that, that's not part of the rebate, is it?
Tina can explain better than anyone.
Yeah, because there's some large amounts here that just kind of don't seem to jive with the other amounts that are listed.
What, the water rebates for the senior rebate? Is that what you're talking about? That's
No,
a
I'm
credit
talking
on
about
Those are refunds for either deposits that are being returned or accounts that were overpaid. The rebate for seniors will be a credit on the bill. They will not be getting a check back.
Okay.
So that's quite a few cycles. We missed water refunds on the last bill run, so that's why you're seeing that many on there. But we have water refunds every bill run.
Well, and there's a specific one here for $8,181, which, I mean, the normal amount is, you know, $60, $122, $141. $8,000 kind of seems to stick out. So that's a refund that we gave them?
What, I'm not looking at what you're, can I see it?
Highlighted. That'll be commercial.
Right, so that's a commercial account, so they changed ownership, so that would not be unusual for that high of a bill. We
Okay.
have some commercial accounts that pay, you know, $10,000 to $20,000 water bills a month.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
a large apartment building.
Yeah, whenever you see something that large, typically commercial, and they use a lot of water.
So is this something that we charge someone that we shouldn't have, and we're refunding this money to the correct?
No, we always
entity, or-
charge appropriately and according to the reads, but if they have an estimated bill because they're looking for a closing letter up front, we will
Okay.
give them an estimated amount based on prior usage, and then when we do the actual read, then it can often result in a refund. So we do estimate on the high end, because you don't often get a payment after the person has moved out.
You never.
And then for, not often. And for rentals, you have to have a $100 deposit on file. So if the account is completely paid up, then they do get that refund back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Alderman Turner.
So thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank Alderman Florian for bringing these to our attention. So this table that we're buying for the Emerald Society for $800, I understand what you said, that that organization is honoring one of our officers, but normally, in someone's being honored, they don't charge them for a table. And so I'm not comfortable paying $800 for a dinner table. Additionally, there's another entry on the page above, donation to the annual banquet, a donation to a banquet for Black Lives Matter in the amount of $575. So again, we're spending taxpayer dollars on, doesn't seem to be city business. I mean, it's $1,375. We could do some potholes with that, or remove some tree stumps or something of that nature. And I just have a concern with spending taxpayer dollars on entertainment and dinner.
Well, typically, that's not come out of taxpayer dollars, Alderman. A lot of times, for community events like that, they use non-forfeiture dollars.
I'm sorry, what?
The non-forfeiture dollars, those are dollars that
drug seizures.
I was trying to make sure I can say that. Whenever we're part of an operation, and when those operations net a positive, then they give those back to the communities who are part of those. So that's what that is. That it's not taxpayer dollars, but
Even so, it's still city resources, right? Regardless of how we come about it. If it's not taxpayer dollars, fine. It's forfeiture money from whatever. But rather than use the forfeiture money for city business, we're using it for entertainment.
That is not necessarily entertainment. Alderman, typically what happens, whenever we have events like this, we like to have a public appearance by a neighborhood police officer, the chief of police, or other parts of Waukegan Police. That just shows that we are connected to the community. And that's what that is, sir. None of these are for entertainment purposes. It is to have a presence that the city of Waukegan.
Right. So I object to us paying to have a presence at a private event. That's my point. And now I don't know if we can pull these out and vote on them separately, but I want to go on the record that I object to spending taxpayer money or taxpayer resources, city resources on entertainment and dinner. That's my objection.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Can I ask
Alderman
one more?
Florian.
So how, to avoid me having to do this again, how can I tell on here that it comes from forfeiture funds and not from?
Just call to ask Tina. All these questions you ask, just ask Tina, and she can let you.
She loves talking to
Yes.
me, I know.
No, I do. No, I absolutely don't mind. On the report itself, it does show distribution code, but it will show what fund it comes out of. So, for example, if it's 296, that would be asset forfeiture fund. You'll learn these over time. Alderman Moiseo could probably help you out with this too.
No, I just call you. Just make a phone call. It's a lot easier.
So wait a minute. You said the distribution code, and you said what number is it?
296.
Fund
These are all
296 is
100.
the asset forfeiture. Fund 100 is the general fund. 555 would be the water fund.
So the first little number, the
Right.
100, well, this says
100.
100.
Right.
So that would be Fund 100 then.
So that's coming out of the general fund, and that's for,
Starts with a 6. The next series of numbers, that would be the police department budget. So I can give you a key. Actually, there's a key in our budget book, but I can give you a key to help you.
So both of these say 100.
Yeah.
but the 6.
I'm not sure what you're looking at.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out from you. The number,
So that means that it's kind of out of the police budget because it's the donation.
It's
to
the general
So the
fund
table actually, Mayor,
police
for-
budget.
For this one.
But it's not out of the
Society,
forfeiture fund.
That actually came out of the police department's general fund budget.
okay, and then check the other one on the back too, the,
Alderman, let's do this. Let's give Tina a call, and we can go over this, and then we can have exactly what these things are. Yeah.
Well, I think it's clear what they are. If they're 100 with the 6, they're out of their general fund.
Okay.
Right.
If it's the other number, it's out of the forfeiture fund.
Okay.
As we do post that, as soon as I think the alderman might be able to see the agenda before it's active.
Yeah.
So we do try to have the bill run posted before 2 p.m. on Thursdays, if not sooner, as well as the payroll. So you can always contact either Sherry or me, and we can help you out with that and even provide you backup if you want.
thank you.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Newsome?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
No.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Taylor?
Aye.
Reports and communications. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Moiseo. City of Waukegan officials estimate the aggregate levy to be 25 point, oh, these are just reports. There's not no motion. This is just a report for communication. The aggregate levy should be estimated at 25.334 million for 2019 tax year per 35 ILC 200-18-6. For reports and communication only. Feel free to call for any questions. Item 6, Special Finance Committee Persons Committee. Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Moiseo, to approve a cooperative agreement with the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, provide funding to the City of Waukegan to clean up brownfield site fan steel located at 801 South Market Street, Waukegan, Illinois.
Yes.
This is a long awaited, I think we're about, this got to be, what, 8 years? No, more than 8
More than
years.
that. I've been standing in that corner for a long time.
Oh, 8 years, Noel? 8, 10? Yeah, 8. It's about. It's been a long time. So, you know, we received the grant a while back. We just want to get the paperwork in. We finally got it in. And for those who do not know, Fan Steel is located just by what we call Diamond Scrapyard, old Diamond Scrapyard property on Market Street. It would be east of Sheridan Road, between South Avenue and Belvedere. This is probably one of our longest standing industrial parks of Waukegan's history that we received a grant for to start to clean up. We speak of progress, we speak of how to generate development on our beautiful lakefront. This is how it's done. 8 years, almost 10 years later, 3 grant applications. We finally received this, so thank you to Noel.
Yes.
A huge shout out to our engineer who helped us out, Gary Deegan. Yeah, Gary Deegan and Associates, who really did each and every time. So we're excited about this. This is a major step in developing that southeast side of town.
Yep.
And let's be honest, no one really wanted to put the money in. So, you know, this is a major step for us. So congratulations to it. Are there any other questions, Alderman? Roll call, please.
Alderman Bolton?
Aye.
Alderman Seager?
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo?
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood?
Aye.
Alderman Newsome?
Aye.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Rivera?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Taylor?
Aye.
And I wish everyone who was here tonight could have heard this, particularly Pastor Harry Stackhouse, who grew up right down over there. That was interesting. He'd love to hear that tonight. Make sure you let him know, please. All right. Landmark, item 7, motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Turner. That's right. I'm going to do the first. Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Newsome, to grant the landmarking of the Robert Smith residence, 817 Oakley Avenue.
Smart.
Oh, Robert Smart. I apologize. Robert Smart residence at 817 Oakley Avenue. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried. Items 8, there being none. Items 9, there being none. Items 10, there being none. Item 11, audience time. Correction.
Alderman's time.
I got you. I guess all of you are woke now.
Way.
Alderman's time. Alderman's time. Madam Clerk.
Alderman Bolton?
Yes, I'd like to thank Public Works for working with me today. I apologize for those in the first ward. Today was our cleanup, and the trucks and the dumpsters were put out late. So up and coming, we'll be doing another Operation Clean Sweep. I also want to send condolences to the Buckner's family. She was my principal when I was little in Carmen School, and sending my condolences to them. Also, in the first ward, I want to announce the leaf collection cleanup, and it will begin November 6th in the first ward, November 7th, November 20th, November 21st, December 4th, and December 5th, and more announcements will come in regards to that. I also like to thank everyone for being so passionate and sharing your opinions about the casino. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Alderman Seager?
Yes, I'd like to announce leaf pickup for the second ward. It would be first and second, and ninth wards. So that the first pickup would be November 6th. That'd be on Wednesday. Thursday, November 7th. let's see. Again, 1st, 2nd, and 9th Ward, November 20th, that's a Wednesday. Thursday, November 21st. Also, December 4th, which is a Wednesday, and Thursday, December 5th, for 1st, 2nd, and 9th wards. And please, please, don't rake these leaves out in the streets, because the wind blows, and next thing you know, all the drainage gets plugged up, the streets flood. Then we got to call Public Works and have the gentlemen come out and clean out the grades. Rake them out onto the parkway, and the dates that we give you, truck will be by to pick up the leaves. Please try to cooperate in the best manner you can, please. Every year we have this problem. So, okay, that's about it. Thank you very much. And thank you all for tonight. Quite a crowd. And believe me, I don't know a lot about this casino, but I listen to these people talk, and that's part of my job. Stop, look, and listen. They're taxpayers too, just like myself. And I'm very much concerned about the welfare of the city of Waukegan and all of our residents. Believe me, I was born in this town. And I'm no spring chicken anymore, so I've been around a while. Plan on being around a little bit longer. So thank you all for attending. It was a packed room. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Alderman Moiseo.
Everybody left, but I'll say it anyway. I might as well. It'll be on YouTube, I guess, right? People ask me all the time, between me and Alderman Newsom, we've been up here the longest, Alderman, what, in all your time up here, what's the biggest challenges? And the number one thing that comes to the forefront is stretching a dollar. Constantly stretching a dollar. How do we make everything work? I was here when we had to lay people off. I don't ever want to do that again.
That's terrible.
Now, I know that the community is divided on this casino and gaming issue. But I don't think that you're all divided on property taxes. The state of Illinois has been hemorrhaging for years on two issues, property tax and pensions. I said this 6 months ago. People, gaming and cannabis is coming down the tracks like a freight train because the state has no other options. The state is the big brother. The state, in its infinite wisdom, could go down to Springfield and say, you know what, we really don't like city government all that much. We're dissolving all of it. And there's not a darn thing we could do about it. Now, they let us run some things, they let us do some things, but at the end of the day, we answer to the state. Our pension systems are run by the state. Our property tax systems are run by the state. So you have to play by their rules. People are leaving Illinois in droves. Why? Property taxes. What do we do to fix property taxes? You have to develop land. You have to make the land you have more valuable. There's a lot of different strategies for that, but how do you do it? In my opinion, you don't hold on to a piece of land that's costing you $200,000 a year to maintain.
That's
And money, and we have down the lakefront. And all of these people, God bless you, get economic development. I've been up here 17 years. It ain't from a lack of trying. What do you want us to do? Now, we can say no to the casino, and the state can say, I know what they're going to do. You may not believe me, but I know what they're going to do. They're not going to look $300 million for a gaming license fee from a casino operator and say, we don't want it. They approved 6 new casinos. 6 times 300 is $1.8 billion. That ain't no lie, and that ain't no funny math. They need money yesterday. That's why they did this. Nobody, and like it or not, nobody comes to the table with that much money that fast. Not even Amazon would come to the table with that much money. And the state knew it. They have nowhere else to turn. Trust me, if we don't take it, it's going in your backyard. It's going to Park City or it's going to North Chicago. You really think the state's going to let $300 million just for the licensing fee, not to mention the gaming revenue they're going to walk out the door? I don't think so. That's not going to happen. They're not going to allow that to happen, especially when the sponsor of the bill is the senator from here. You think he's going to let the casino fail in his own backyard that he's been working on for 20 years, like it or not? He's not going to let that happen. He'll put it somewhere else in Lake County. And you'll get all the perceived problems and $0, nothing out of it. Now, I know the legislation specifically says Waukegan. How hard do you think it isn't to go to November and put in a trailer bill, what they're going to have already, because Chicago got theirs so messed up? Put in a trailer bill, erase Waukegan, P-A-R-K-S, or C-I-T-Y, or North Chicago. It ain't hard. It is not hard to do. They already have the votes down there. They already do. So if this comes and we get new revenue, what do we need to do? We need to take that revenue, whatever it is, and dedicate it to getting property taxes down and paying pension costs. We levy $18 million a year for pension costs. $18 million. Some of that revenue would put a dent in it, therefore put a dent in our ability to lower pension costs. Everybody knows the pension system in Illinois is broken. That's why they're doing all this, people. I don't particularly like when the community is divided on something. I don't like division. People that know me can understand that. But when you can say we have a choice, yeah, we have a choice, sure. $3.5 million in the hole, say no, go farther in, lay people off, and increase property taxes. If that's what you want, then I want this room filled saying, I want you to raise my property tax. Raise my property taxes to pay the pensions. If that's what you want, then that's what I'll do. Because I don't see any other way to do it, and neither did the state of Illinois. So if anybody can help me with my math on that, I'm all ears on how to do it. But I don't see how, again, the state, that's why they did it. I told you that 6 months ago.
That's right.
So now you know my stand's never changed, there's never changed on it. I'm tired of stretching a dollar. I've been doing it for 17 years. And I know this isn't the panacea that it once was. I know that. I can see the numbers. I've also done my research. I've contacted Elgin. I've contacted Aurora. I've contacted Joliet. I have all of their crime stats from their police department. I have Joliet's from the day they put the 2 river boats in. If anybody wants them, let me know. I'll email them to you. I've emailed them to a number of people. So I didn't go into this without doing my research. I looked at the calls for service. I've done all that. So that's my stance. But if anybody can help me with the math, I'm all ears. Thanks.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Thank you, Alderman Mosio, for that information. On November the 9th, the 4th Ward will have their first Family Photo Day, Saturday, November the 9th at Waukegan High School East Campus in the cafeteria from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We ask you to Dressed in your Sunday best, you get a free 8x10 family photo. Once again, that will be on Saturday, November the 9th at Waukegan East Campus from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. You need to sign up. There will be a website available for you to sign up. You must be a resident of the 4th Ward. Also, the leaf collection for the 4th Ward starts on November the 4th, Monday, November the 4th, Tuesday, November the 5th, Monday, November the 18th, Tuesday, November the 19th, Monday, December the 2nd, and Tuesday, December the 3rd. Once again, make sure the leaves are on the parkway, not on the side of the street or in the gutters. Once again, we want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. And once again, we're here to represent all the residents of Waukegan. Thank you.
Alderman Newsome.
Thank you. I just want to announce the next Operation Clean Sweep for the 5th Ward. And it's going to be Thursday, October 31st. It's going to be at the corner of Delaware and Greenwood, and the time will be from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. There will also be a Public Works employee there with a truck to take any electronics that you have or tires. The tires must be off of the rims, and they'll take those. And then along with the leaf pickup, this is kind of a tentative schedule for the leaf pickup. I think we're gonna try to wait until most of the leaves have fallen off of the trees, and I believe this is a week later than we usually do the leaf pickup. So hopefully by the end of October, they have pretty much started falling, but then that signifies we have really cold weather. But the first pickup for the 5th Ward will be Wednesday, October 30th, and Thursday, October 31st. And like I said, this is a tentative schedule date. If you have any questions regarding this, please feel free to give me a call. I'll get some copies and try to bring them out into the ward as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Turner.
Thank you. A couple of things. So this past Saturday, we had here in the City Hall, State Representative Mayfield and Waukegan Township Assessor Mark Strickland and I hosted a property tax seminar, sparsely attended, but great information was imparted for those who were in attendance. If you still have questions about how property taxes are assessed and collected and what programs might be available to you to reduce your property tax burden, please feel free to call me, State Representative Mayfield, or Waukegan Township Assessor Mark Strickland. In the 6th Ward, we recently completed repainting, I thought, all of the AT&T junction boxes, and I take responsibility. I missed a couple of them that should have been reported to AT&T for repainting. I take responsibility that all of them weren't done, but most of the AT&T junction boxes in the 6th Ward have been repainted. Some of you may recall back in 2013, I was going around the 6th Ward cleaning up graffiti, and I think I did 38 graffiti hits that I cleaned up personally. Some of those were those AT&T boxes that are now repainted properly. So I want to thank our partners over at AT&T for that. My thought on this casino deal is, I gotta tell you, I don't care, and I could not care less if a casino or which casino comes there. Don't care. In my mind, this is simply a matter of a land sale, a land deal, right? So we, the corporation of the city of Waukegan, right, invested and bought some land, and that land is now available for sale to somebody, to any entity that wants to buy it and develop it. What they want to put out there ain't my business. If I sell my house, I don't care what the new buyer does with it. All I want to know is how much you're going to give me for my house. And that's the question I ask regarding the land that we want to sell out at Fountain Square. How much? What's the offer? So I think we got a $7 million offer, an $11 million offer, and a $50 million offer. What's that land worth? $5.256 million. I don't think we should walk away from it. Now, there are those who say, well, we're going to stop the casino from coming for whatever reason they don't want the casino. We're going to stop that by simply holding up the vote and not allowing the vote, supermajority of the vote, to sell that land. Great. Then what? What would the new potential buyer do? Nothing? Not have a casino? Nope. He'd go right over there and he'd buy the Milan and the Brunswick Bowling Alley and some other property, or some other property in Waukegan, and they build a casino. So they don't have to build on the land that the city of Waukegan owns. So let's say we don't get to sell it, and they go build it somewhere else. So we missed the $50 million, the $7 million, the $11 million, whatever monies we were going to get for the land sale. We would miss that, and it would go somewhere else. And you'd still have your casino right either in Waukegan or, as Alderman Moiseo stated, next door, Park City. They're getting ready to build a 4-story hotel just to service this casino that we think we're going to get, right? What do you think's going to happen if Waukegan doesn't get it and it goes to Park City? They're chomping at the bits for it. Same thing with North Chicago. Anybody would take it. It only makes good business sense for us from a land perspective, and I'll also throw this in. You're talking $50 million for a land deal. That's money now. All of that other stuff is projections, is best guesses. You're betting on a bet, gambling on a gamble. Oh, we're going to get so much money over $6 million over so many years, and it's going to do this, and we're going to do that. That's all a guess. That's a bet. You're gambling on the casino that it's going to be a return of that nature, what they estimate. You don't know what's going to happen. The economy goes up and down. It's up now. They're talking about we're going to go into a recession. What if those projections don't come true? You bet on a bet. So here's what I think. I think we sell the land for the best offer that we can get. And then we worry about what's built over there later. That comes down the line. That's my thought. Thank you.
Alderman Rivera.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank everyone that came. It's unfortunate that they didn't stay, and I would understand why, for all of their moving and emotional statements. This is obviously a very hot topic for our citizens. Something that we haven't done a good job of is listening to the citizens, because I think this is the third packed council meeting regarding this specific issue. One of the things that I ran on was listening to the citizens and being their representatives. I know that in my ward, the casino is a no-go. We don't see longevity in it. We've pushed aside alternatives for the property that has been sitting there for the last 15 or 20 years. And it's true, we are trying to stretch the dollars, but because we've been so focused on this one enterprise coming, we've never ever looked at any alternatives, serious alternatives, I think. So it would be to our best interest as a council and as leaders of the city of Waukegan to pay more attention to what the citizens are telling us and what their wishes are. Thank you.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you. I also represent a ward that the majority of the people do not support a casino in Waukegan. I understand what Alderman Moiseo is saying about where is the money going to come from. But I think it would be wise, or would have been wise, for us to do an economic development study. This issue was brought up months ago, and we've never done it. And as Alderman Turner said, we're just kind of betting on a bet, in a way, and taking the word of these people that they're going to bring in these dollars to our community. And I think if we had some hard data to present to people, maybe people might be convinced that, oh, maybe this isn't such a bad idea. But we don't really have that. We just have the proposals by the developers themselves. I also regret that this has never been put to a vote for our citizens. I really think that an issue this big and this bringing out this much emotion, and I also want to thank all the people who came and poured their hearts out. I think something like that should be put to a vote. You know, as was pointed out by several speakers, this idea goes back to 2003, 2004. You know, maybe it's not even a feasible thing. How do we know how 6 new casinos are going to affect the state? There's just so many unknowns. I also want to talk a little bit about the event at the Genesee. I feel very badly that was billed as an event for the citizens to speak, and many citizens didn't get their chance to speak or got very little time. I spoke to Mr. Long during the event to try to get the Rivers people to not be able to take up so much time, but apparently there was nothing that could be done about that. And I just want to acknowledge that I felt that our citizens' time was stolen from them, and I'm not okay with that, since that's the only public event we're going to have for you to speak out. So, having said that, the leaf cleanup in the 8th Ward is the 28th of October, 29th of October, 11th and 12th of November, 25th and 26th of November. Again, as Alderman Newsom pointed out, this is a tentative schedule depending on when the leaves fall. I'm also scheduling a fall cleanup. The details haven't all been worked out, but that'll be on October 28th, which is a Monday. It's going to be somewhere near Sunset and Macquarie. There'll be a dumpster and also a electronics and tire drop-off truck. The next council meeting, the details will be worked out. I'll have flyers before then that I'm going to try to distribute to that whole neighborhood in the area of Sunset and Macquarie. I call it Heather Heights, but anyway, thank you very much.
Alderman Taylor.
I think I'm going to pass any comments on the casino tonight because I think you've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I don't think there's more that can be said on either side, so I'll leave that alone. I will say that the dates for our leaf cleanup are the same as the 1st, 2nd wards, and since those dates have been given, I will tell you I have already posted them on my Facebook page, which is Ann Taylor, Alderman, Waukegan 9th Ward. So you can get those dates off of there. There will also be a fall or a ward cleanup on October 19th that will be at 7:30 in the morning, and it will be in the Hobo parking lot. So if you have any questions, you can contact me. As the details come out, I will put something out on the Facebook page about that too. But I do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This is an emotional topic, and it's a difficult topic for all of us, no matter where you fall on the issue. And I think it's something that I wish we would have had more time to deal with this. And I think it would have been nice if we could have had the citizens have more of a vote in it. But the decision will be coming, and I think for all of us, it's not an easy decision. These are tough decisions to make. And then we'll go from this to cannabis. So it's never a dull moment here. So I want to thank everybody tonight, and thank you.
Your Honor, real quick.
Alderman Mosio.
I just want to respond to something to Alderman Rivera. Alderman Rivera, go back and check. I said years ago, 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, it was time to sell that land when the casino was never on the horizon. This alderman was never waiting around for it. I said, it's time to sell the land. The casino's not coming. All of a sudden, what happens? Boom, out of nowhere. So I was never focused on waiting. I said, hey, it's time to get rid of that land. We need to develop. We need to do something with it. So I just want to make sure that people, I was never waiting around for the casino. I was in favor of selling that land 2 years ago and quit waiting around on the state. But like I said before, the state is the big brother. They're the hammer.
You know, Alderman Mozio and Alderman Felix Rivera and Alderman Florian, I caution you when you say all of your residents. I caution you. I think you have heard from residents who you are familiar with. I think you've heard from residents who you know, and they're passionate about Waukegan. I will say that without hesitation. But that land, I don't know where you got this idea that that land had options. When we bought the land, we bought the land at the time for the Emerald's Casino. We were up for it. We lost the bid. We held on to it. Shaw then put it up for sale. It had a for sale sign on there a good 8 or 9 years. You know, history. When we first went into that venture, it was to demolish the old Lakers. Then we went into Walmart. Ray, you still here? Walmart was the anchor. We had hopes and everything was building, everything was going great. And let's be clear, west of Green Bay Road has always been Woodland and Gurney school districts. Even when Lakehurst was there. Has always been. You want to know why? The school district never followed the what? The city's line. So this thing about Waukegan Public Schools not getting these dollars, right now, River Road, Old Plain Road, Old Lakehurst, now Fountain Square, all up to Green Bay Road, even the track, off-bet track, is it off-bet track or? Off-bet. All those. Woodland and Gurney school districts has always been. I want to give you ammunition so then you can defend Waukegan instead of saying that we didn't do anything. 2008, 2009 crushed us. We couldn't sell the land, and if we would have sold the land, we would have sold it for far less than what we bought it. So, as you, Alderman, as you go out and you speak, I encourage you. I want you to please get information so you cannot say you're defending, but you can make sure that you are disseminating the correct information, or better yet, all the information as it pertains to how this city is ran. Now let's talk about the economics of it. There is a moral concept here. We heard it tonight. I get it. I understand it. Heck, I agree with them. But we also have a fiduciary responsibility as aldermen, as the mayor,
Right.
to look out for the best interests of the city of Waukegan. Alderman Mozio said something profound. $18 million pension only.
Ooh.
Only. Another $2 million of non-police, non-fire pension. That's $20 million. That's on the tax roll. Mandatory. I'm gonna give you a little bit more help so we understand what we're dealing with. We just approved contracts, 2.5, 2.5, 3.75, no, 3.25, 3.25. That's guaranteed. Wow. Wow. We are trying to find alternative ways so that 20 million don't go on the tax roll, and if we don't find it, where are we going to get it? So as you're speaking to your constituents, particularly those are in your ear and are telling you all the great and the worst things in the world about what you're doing what's in the best interest and what the people of those particular wards voted us to do. Look out for the best interest of Waukegan, Illinois. And sometimes it requires us to make decisions that other people don't want to make. That's why we're the leaders. And I question you on this when you tell me that it should go out to the public.
Nope.
For the last 20 years, it's been out to the public. So I hear you. When we went over to Genesee Theater, as opposed to saying that people came in, we do not. This alderman, the mayor, we do not make up the first ward, and that it was always bad for the first ward because it was black people over there and nobody cared about black people. When I got into the aldermanic seat, I quickly learned it was not about the first ward, it's about Waukegan. And when we talk about Waukegan, I can't say the south side or the west side or the north side. I got to speak Waukegan.
Right.
And when you speak Waukegan, sometimes it hurts some of the decisions that must be made in order for the betterment of Waukegan to prevail. We have been hit with a challenge of a project. You call it casino, I call it a project. And this project could do wonders for the $554 million assessment that was brought upon us. You guys were here. It can do wonders for the $20 million for the water plant. It can do wonders to make sure the facilities that we're in every day get an annual upkeep. So when we're weighing those, I ask you to weigh them all. So when you go back to those residents and they tell you, I don't want it, you must be honest with them and say, well, if we don't get it from here, we must get it from there. Are you okay with that? And if they tell you they're not okay, then there's a decision that you have to make that's in the best interest of moving this community. That's the passion that I have. That's the task that we are here with. And I trust, because I know both of your hearts, I trust that you would do that without passion or prejudice, but was in the best interest of the city. And I know you want to respond, Felix.
No, the only thing I would like to say is that, truly giving the citizens an opportunity to voice their opinion on this, and I understand it's a venture. I understand that it's been 15, 20 years in the process. But it seems like it's the only process that we've been focused on. We've never looked at any other alternatives. And right now, just trying to get the opinion of the people. We have I think it's a survey going on, the CBGD survey.
Yes, sir.
Why can't we use that same process to ask the citizens what they want to do?
But Alderman, we have been taking open comments. Are they still taking? We've been taking comments for the last 2 weeks about this. And in all due respects, Alderman, they've elected you to be that leader.
That's right.
You've said it. Alderman Florian, you've said it. I understand. If that's your decision, then that's your decision based on what the feedback you received from. But I caution you, the alternative, you must be prepared for that alternative. And if you're not, we will. And we move from there.
Mayor, if I may.
Alderman Turner, and I think that's going to close it out here. Alderman Turner.
I just want to thank you for your words and for drawing a corollary between you and Alderman Moisio about property taxes. I got to tell you, when I ran for election, I committed to my neighbors that I would not vote for a property tax increase. I stand by that. People jokingly call me Keith No Tax Turner. I ran years ago on that same platform, no property tax increases. And I gotta tell you, I'm telling you right now, I will not vote for any property tax increase, ever. Well, maybe not ever, but thank you.
Don't say ever.
Don't say ever, right. No, I'm committed. I'm not gonna vote for a property tax increase, find another way to fund it. Thank you.
All right, motion by Alderman Florian, second by Alderman Rivera to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's passed and carried.
What a great meeting.